things that we get asked all the time is, when can we start planting in our garden? Everybody loves to have that first tomato and those peppers for those great salads in the summertime, but we always tell you to hold off until middle of May to the end of May. But one thing you can start planting early are cool season crops. Whether you're planting in the ground, in a raised bed, or in a container, those crops are ones that you can start very early here in Nebraska. But first you need to figure out when your last frost date is. In the eastern part of the state, it is usually around May 10th. In the central part of the state, it's usually about May 13th. And in the western part of the state, it's usually about May 18th to 20th. So remember those dates, and then we'll just have to start counting back from there. Next, you need to know and understand the difference between cool season plants and warm season plants. So cool season plants are the ones that can be planted before the last frost date. They have a little bit shallower root zone, they will germinate in much cooler soil, and they have a little bit shorter life. Some of the best cool season veggies to consider are kale, cabbage, broccoli, leeks, radishes, but there are two cool season perennials that you can also consider, and that is rhubarb and asparagus. You need to remember to plant these a little bit earlier. One of the reasons we consider them cool season plants is they have a little bit shorter growing season, and they kind of start to change some of their textures or taste as soon as the heat comes on. So for example, radishes get a little woody, kind of fibrous, and get kind of that really bad peppery taste. Broccoli starts to bolt, which is the process of switching from a vegetative plant into its reproductive plant and starting to put seeds on. And asparagus and rhubarb kind of start to get real woody and kind of very fibrous and not tasty anymore at all once the warm season starts. So if you didn't get your cool season plants in this time of year, because we are almost the middle of May and it's starting to get pretty warm here in Nebraska, don't forget you can still plant cool season plants in the fall for a fall crop. Usually about the 1st of August, make sure that you know when your first frost date is, count back from the seed packet how many dates you need before harvest, and then go ahead and plant those. A lot of those cool season plants are actually best planted here in Nebraska in the fall, such as Brussels sprouts. They have a very long growing season before harvest, and they actually taste a lot better when you have a little bit of frost on them. So consider planting cool season plants in Nebraska, whether you're planting them early in the spring, like in March or April, or if you're not starting them until August. They're a great tasty way to add something to your garden.